sec. Okay, we have the transcript as well. This is great. Okay, so the last time what I covered was there are two steps in intercompany setup and transactions. Step number one is we have to make sure our setup is complete. Now over here, all we need to do is once I click on intercompany setup, I have to define a code. So for example, if I'm in VSO, so I have to define a code for VSO. So once I define the code, then the rest of the options will be the same. So this will be database, these options will be blank. And then over here, we can specify if we want to auto accept the transaction, auto send the transaction. So for example, if I post a purchase invoice, which is for intercompany, I can check this option on. So Business Central will automatically send the transaction to School of Music or to VSF rather than going in Outbox, clicking accept, and then going extra steps. Okay, then we also covered further details. Over here, what I can do is, so for example, let's say if I post a transaction in School of Music, so let's say if I post a purchase invoice in School of Music for VSO, where do I want to receive the transaction in VSO? So here I can specify I want to receive the transaction in intercompany general, and I want to receive the transaction in the batch default. So we can like specify the details over here. There are like more options which I can cover up afterwards once the users start the testing. But okay, then we also cover up after this, we have to add our intercompany partners. For example, here I can add VSF and School of Music. So if I click on add, once I click on add, the first option will be database always. Here I can select which company I want to add as my IC partner. So I can specify VSF test, School of Music test, etc. Once I do that, make sure we specify a code, right? And then over here, we have this option called auto accept transaction. So we can keep this option turned on or off as per requirement. So this just means if VSO sends any IC transaction to VSF, VSF will automatically accept the transaction and the transaction will flow over to VSF automatically. So the transaction will show there. You just have to go there and post the transaction. Okay, we specify this detail. Then if I scroll down, here I can see I can specify the receivable accounts and the payable account. So this just means, for example, let's say if I'm doing a purchase invoice transaction in VSO to VSF. So what happens is if I'm doing a purchase transaction in VSO, the GL account which will be used in VSF will be for receivables. So here we can specify your intercompany GL account for AR. And here we can specify your intercompany payables account for IC transactions, sorry, for AP. So if I click on this, I can see due to VSF and due to, and here we can specify whichever account we're using for AP for IC. So we can change this as well. I'm not sure which GL account you're using for VSF, but we can either create this or we can change this too. Okay, any questions so far? Okay.
I have one. Maybe it's a
Yeah,
silly
go ahead.
question. So what?
No, quite.
So if you do an intercompany transaction, say from the VSO to the
Yeah.
VSO School of Music,
Yeah.
and what if the VSO School of Music says, no, I don't agree with that?
Oh, okay,
Do you-
that's great, actually. Yeah. No, I understand your question. So, for example, let's say in this case, what we can do is, so we have an option called intercompany inbox transaction.
Mhm.
Now, this option is only useful. So let's say in this example, we were using School of Music. if I keep this option turned off, so let's say if this option is turned off, so if I post a transaction in VSO, once a transaction posted in VSO in School of Music, I have to click on search and search inbox, intercompany inbox transaction. And over there, and over here, I can see my transaction, which was posted from VSO. And if I click on actions, I can see these options, right? So I can either accept my transaction, I can cancel my transaction, or I can return my transaction to my VSO in this case. So I'll actually show you an example for this. So this is a great question. Yeah, no, great question. Yeah, it actually happens sometimes if there's any mistake in the transaction, so you can cancel the transaction as well. Okay, any other questions before I move forward? Okay, so the next step from here is once we add all the details and the details over here, then we have to make sure we specify your chart of accounts. Here, all I have to do is I have to map your chart of accounts correctly. So for example, since my IC partner is VSF and School of Music, I have to make sure I map the GL accounts from VSO to the GL accounts of School of Music and VSF. I'll show an example right now. So this is the Excel sheet that Diane had shared with me. She had given me an example. So in this example, let's say if you're creating a purchase invoice in VSO, this is the expense account that you'll use. And once you post the transaction, this is the expense account that should be used in the School of Music and vice versa as well, right? So this is in VSO, this is in School of Music. So here, what I need to do is, let's say as an example, if I go back from here, if I click on chart of accounts, so 51441, if I search 51441, I can see like currently VSO does not have 51441 GL account. So then all I need to do is, let's say, go back over here, intercompany setup, click on IC chart of accounts, right? From here, click on this option. Okay, from here, since this account is not in VSO chart of account list, all I need to do is click on new, add this same number, specify the name. So this account is already there, since I already added this, I'm just gonna add 2 over here, just as an example. So add your GL account, specify the name. So let's say School of Music expense, right? And here I can specify which GL account in VSO I want to map this account to. So here I know like this account should be mapped to 82800 in VSO. So I can just click over here, specify 82800. And here I can map this account with 82800, right? So whenever you have any examples of any GL accounts in VSF or School of Music, which are not there in VSO or vice versa, all we need to do is in intercompany setup, click on IC chart of accounts, click new. Now, once you click new, we can add these GL accounts over here and we can map these GL accounts with VSO. And any GL accounts which you add over here will not show up in your chart of account list. This will only show up in your intercompany GL account list only for the transactions. Does that make sense, or any questions?
Just one question, is this done in the VSO company or? Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so in this case, we have to do the same thing in School of Music as well, because I don't think School of Music has this GL account right now, 82800.
Right. Okay.
So let me actually see that. Okay, so School of Music has this GL account, but let's say in some cases, if School of Music does not have this account, so we have to do the same step in School of Music as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what we can do is, the team can send me all the examples of the mapping that they want to create, and I can actually create the same in your live company as well. So it will be easier
Right.
once you go live, yeah, for the
Yeah.
team.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how we can create the GL account. And from here, I'll show an example. So from here, if I click on chart of accounts mapping, okay, so the first option is intercompany chart of accounts. I'll show an example. Give me one second. Like, okay, so here I can see 51441, and I can see this has been mapped to the GL account 82800. So this is good. So intercompany means this can be VSO or VSF. And I can see your GL chart of accounts. This is for VSO. Here, if I scroll over to 82800, so if let's just scroll all the way down. Here I can see 5.441 has been specified. So this just means, let's say if you post a transaction in School of Music using this GL account, once the transaction flows over to VSF, this GL account will be used for the expense. And if you do the same thing from VSO, use this expense account, this expense account will be used in School of Music. So yes, send me some examples afterwards and I can create the same scenario in your live company, so it will be easier. In the starting, I think there will be plenty of questions in this, but let me know like whenever there are additional questions in this and we can jump on a quick call too. But any questions for now? Okay. Okay, so once we do our chart of accounts, then the next step is our dimensions as well. So if I click on IC dimensions, over here, all I need to do is click on dimensions, dimensions mapping, right? If I click on dimensions mapping, I can see, so here I can see some examples. I can see VSO and School of Music currently only have these dimensions, but VSO has other dimensions as well. So for example, what I can do is I can actually map client dimension in VSO or VSF to the client dimension in VSO. So from here, all I need to do is click on this option, dimension value mapping. So here, what I can do is I can specify, let's say, for example, if I use one particular dimension in VSO, and if I post a transaction, which dimension should be used in School of Music. So
I don't
yeah,
think
go
the
ahead.
school is using dimensions.
School is not using dimension?
No, I don't believe they are.
I didn't think so either.
Okay, so this must be for VSF then. So this must be
Oh,
for VSF then.
But VSF is, well, it's using dimensions, but it's not going to
Fine.
be the same dimensions. They're
Yeah,
totally different
different.
dimensions.
They're
So
totally
I think
different?
this is irrelevant,
Yeah.
Oh,
possibly.
okay. So one question, when you do your intercompany transactions, will you post your, so will you use your dimensions as well?
I
Don't think so.
don't
Okay.
think so.
Okay,
The only
okay,
time
that
we
makes
might,
sense.
I'm just thinking the only time we might use a dimension possibly is if we rent like
Mhm.
Hyatt Hall from the school and the school invoices the VSO, it might
Right.
be coded to a particular concert, like if it's for rehearsal time, or it might be coded to a particular. event if it's for development, but it would just be going that way, like only
Oh,
school
okay.
and then dimensioned in the VSO.
Okay, no, that actually makes sense then. So what we can do is, let's say after you start testing this feature in Business Central, send me an example of this, and I can create and I can create the setup for you so you can test the same thing. So it will be very
Okay.
straightforward. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there will
So
be,
go
sorry,
ahead.
there will be a way that we can add a dimension to an intercompany before we post it?
I'll first have to check your scenario. So your
Okay.
question, yeah, so we do have the option of adding the dimension to the entry before posting it. So yes, we
Okay,
can do
good.
that. Yeah, we can actually do that. Mhm. So we can do that. And yeah, send me an example so I can specify the same scenario over here. Okay, so for your intercompany setup then, we only need to focus on this detail over here, general, intercompany partners, and IC chart of accounts. IC dimensions we can leave for now since you will not be using it that much. And whatever changes you require over here, you can just let me know, and I can just make those changes to actually keep it simpler, right? And then afterwards, I can just show you how I made the same change. Okay. Okay, so let's say once this has been completed, I go back. Now the next step is intercompany transactions. So here I have two or three options. Sorry, here I have different options. One option is so option number one is sometimes you have journal entries for intercompany from VSO, let's say to School of Music. So I can also create journal entries as well. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an example for purchase invoice. So as an example, we will be creating a purchase invoice in VSO. And we will be specifying that the purchase invoice should flow to School of Music. So we'll do an example for that. Okay, before creating this, just want to show, since I will be doing School of Music, I have turned off this option for auto accept. So this just means once the transaction is posted in School of Music, I'll have to click on search and click on inbox and accept the transactions and accept the transaction from there to make sure the transaction flows over to um, the specified patch, right? So I just wanted to let you know this. One sec. Okay. So let's say in VSO, I click on purchasing, purchase invoice. Then I click on new. Let's say from here, what I can do is I can search the vendor number, School of Music. I can click over here. I can specify this. Okay. Now from here, once you scroll down, in this example, so the example that I have, I can see the expense account that you will be using is 82800 for VSO, right? So I can specify 82800. Now, once I do this, I can mention my quantity as well. So I can mention my quantity. And here I can specify my price as well. So let's say the price is $200, or let's say $200, 100, same thing. Okay, I have one question. So here you have two options. Once you post your purchase invoice in the School of Music, do you want the entry to be created as a journal entry or a sales invoice instead?
Sales invoice.
Sales invoice will be better? Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back to you on sales invoice because there is a bug right now in Business Central due to the latest update. So for example, I'll show you an example right now. Oh, someone is here. Okay, so for example, let's say whenever I create a vendor in your Business Central, so let's say this is the vendor V0281. And if I open your vendor card, we have an option over here to specify IC partner code. So I can specify that this vendor belongs to School of Music. So whenever I specify this vendor in my purchase invoices, Business Central automatically knows that this vendor is used for intercompany transaction, and the transaction should flow to School of Music each and every single time. Right now, this function is not working for some reason, and we will be opening Microsoft support ticket. So I'll keep you updated on this, but this option is very straightforward. So once this option starts working, um, all we need to do is, let's say if I create a purchase invoice, I select my vendor V0281. I scroll down. Once I specify, so let's say if I delete this line, once I specify 82800, right? So this is 82800. Once I specify this quantity, scroll right, I can see Business Central has automatically specified my IC partner GL account over here, which is 51441. This means is once I post my transaction, VSO School of Music should use this GL account over there, right? But right now, what's happening is this feature is not working due to some bug right now, so I have to contact Microsoft support team. So till then, what we can do is, I'll just have to change the vendor to some other vendor, let's say School of Music, which, so this vendor right now does not have IC partner code selected, so this is just a normal vendor. In this case, all I need to do is, once I specify this, scroll down, enter your GL account quantity. Once I do this, in your IC partner code, I just have to select if the transaction will flow to VSF or School of Music. So let's say this is School of Music. And now over here, I just have to specify your GL account for School of Music. So 51441. Right? Once I do this, mention the price. Tax through code can be GST or PST. And now my transaction is complete for intercompany. Any questions in this?
Yeah, what if the purchase invoice that we're putting in, we're paying part of it and they're paying part of it?
Okay, so that means if the purchase invoice is 224, you're only paying half of this price and they are paying half of the price, right?
Right.
Okay, I can get back to you on this question. So
Okay.
yeah, I can, this is a great scenario. So yeah, I'll actually get back to you on this. So yeah, I'll get back to you on this. So this does make sense. So half is paid through VSO and half is paid through School of Music. Okay. Any other question in this? Okay, so just to confirm again, once I create the purchase invoice, select your vendor number, scroll down, then we specify the GL account and make sure I specify IC partner code over here. Then I scroll right, and enter the same detail over here as well. So I specify the VSO's GL account as well. Once I do this, then my transaction is completed. And now my transaction, and now once I post this transaction will flow to School of Music. Before, the options which I showed you was automatic function, which is much more convenient and easier to use. So I'll get back to on that function since we have to open Microsoft support ticket since it's not working right now. So I'll get back to you on that. But for now, we can use this function to test intercompany setup and how intercompany setup works in Business Central. Okay, from here, can anyone share their screen because I don't have permission to post this intercompany transaction in your Business Central. So
let me share.
yeah, you can share the screen now.
Too many things open. Oh, where did they go? Oh, here.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go in purchase invoices. Okay, purchase invoice number 38.
This one, right?
Yeah, the last one. Now, let's say once all the options has been selected, now we do preview posting. Oh, wait. Go back. So here, since you're using intercompany setup for the first time, you have to add those columns over here as well. So next time, once you will be doing the testing, you will need the columns. You know the columns which I was using. So all you need to do is click on settings option on the top right.
Here.
Yeah. Click on personalize. Or the first option, personalize. Yeah. Okay, now click more, just on the top of the screen. Okay, on the top left, add field. Yep. Okay, now scroll your mouse over where it says GL account. Yep, click within the box. Click over here. Okay, great. Now on your right hand side, do you see these options? Do you see like all of these options on your right hand side?
Mm-hmm. Like
No. On your
Very right.
extreme right. Yeah, very right.
Where it says add field to page at the top under, there's
Oh,
a
here.
big red button. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now click on search, just next to just over here, the search, and search IC, capital I, capital C.
Oh.
Yeah, it should be the same thing. And space. Okay. So all these fields which you see over here, we have to add them just over where it says GL account type, etc. So drag and drop these fields over there. So drag the field. Yeah. Click on the field. Click on the field.
Which
and
one?
Yeah,
The first one.
the first one, and drag this field on. Okay, great.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Now click over here. Click show. right?
Okay.
Now
Okay,
do the
fine.
same thing with the
I
second
see, I
one.
see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now it makes sense.
So since you're doing this for the first time, so you'll have to do this
Mm.
initially just to add these fields. Okay, so once we have added all the three fields, click the red option on top. Done. Okay, so here you can see the details, School of Music, GL account as well.
Mhm, mhm.
And now let's do preview posting. Preview posting, perfect. Click GL entry. Okay, so now we can see the GL entry over here. Can you maximize the screen from here? Okay, so here what we can see is the first account is our expense account in VSO, so 82800. We can see our expense account in VSO. 23120 is your AP control account. So we can, sorry, 23120 is our tax account. So
Yeah.
can you click on that? I just want to see which account it is. Yeah,
It
so
should be
this is a tax
GST.
Yeah, the
account.
Yeah.
GST. Yeah.
Okay, great. Now click. Now 22500 is our AP account.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's our AP account.
Yeah. This
1220.
is AR.
Yeah, so 12201 is AR for intercompany, right? So since this transaction will flow in School of Music, so that's why
Right.
this account is used.
Mhm.
And then below we can see our expense account getting nullified. So we have minus 200 over there as well. So this is how our GL entry will look like. And now go back. Go back.
Hold on a second. Can you go back to the GL account?
Preview posting GL entry. Yeah.
Okay, because we have the PST going into the 82
Expense. Yeah.
800,
Expense.
it's not coming out. We've only got 200 coming out.
For the last line, right?
Yeah, we had 214 going in and 200 coming out.
And in this scenario, will you be expensing your PST?
Yes. So I
Okay.
would assume if it's going to the School of Music that we have to take that out of the expense as well.
Okay, I can make a note of this. So expensing for IC transactions.
Yeah.
Yep, I can get back to you. No, this is a good question. So I'll get back to you on this and we
Okay.
can go from there. Nope, that's actually great to know. So I'll get back to you on expensing on the expense line for this. Okay. No, that's good. Okay, so from here, if you go back and post your transaction. Post, click yes, click no, just to, we don't want to see the posted invoice. Okay, so once the transaction is posted in School of, so VSO, now I will actually, now what you can do is change your company. So click on that icon, yeah. Open School of Music, yeah. So since the transaction is posted in School of Music, and I also showed you auto accept transaction was turned off. Now over here, all I need to do is click on search, search inbox. Click on the second option, intercompany inbox transactions. So, okay, give it a few seconds. Sometimes it takes a few seconds for the transaction should flow. So, yeah, go back from here. Again, specify inbox. Takes a couple of seconds. So, sec. Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry. Okay. So can you go back to VSO and can you create a new purchase invoice? I think I used the wrong code because in School of Music I had created two codes. I might have punched in the wrong code. So click on purchase invoices. Okay, and create a new one. Click on new. Now search School of. Click on show more on the right hand side. Or you can click on here as well. Yep, press OK. Specify invoice number, asterisk, yeah. Okay, now 82800, that's our GL account. Okay, IC partner, go click on this. So here you can see we have two options.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
we have
which
to
one?
we have to select the second option, school
This
VSO.
one, right?
No.
One?
The,
Oh, here.
the second option, this one. I actually by mistake
Oh.
selected the third option.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just this option.
Yeah.
In IC partner reference 51411. So you can just specify the number itself. You don't have to search.
Or
51411. Sorry, 51441. Sorry, 51441.
oh,
Okay, now quantity and price.
mm, this is what we had before.
Okay, yeah, give me 1 sec. Yeah, give me 1 sec. Checking something. Tax group code, you can select all taxes as well, same thing.
Hmm.
Or actually select GST for now. I'm gonna get back to get around the expense one, so select GST. So now our transaction is completed. Now click on post to post. Actually click on preview postings to just see the entry. GL entry. Okay, that looks good. Yep, that looks good. Now go back and post entry.
Do I switch on track right now or?
Yeah, let's go in School of Music. So it isn't showing up right. It was working before.
Yeah, last time it was working.
It
Last
was
time
working,
it's
yeah.
kind of
Oh,
showed up.
are you using Internet Explorer?
Uh,
Yeah, it should not matter, but my IT
yeah,
team
because I
told me.
used the same last time.
I think
Are you able
you're
to
doing
check on
Chrome,
your
right?
end, or does it matter?
No, so I know like when we were testing this before, Internet Explorer was causing some issues. So can you log into Chrome? Okay, can you open this?
So
So
I'm here. I'm
maximize the
here
screen.
as well. Do I need to
Yep, just maximize. No. The maximize the screen. Post a transaction from Chrome. From Chrome itself. So let's create a new purchase invoice.
Oh, okay. So I know I'm at VSO.
Click on purchasing. Yep. Yeah. So this happened before as well. When post it from Explorer. Okay. Yep. I can show you like an easier way. Click on cancel. Cancel this. Now, do you see show more on your right hand side? Just on the top right. Now
yeah.
cancel this.
Oh,
Yeah.
for,
Do you see show more option? Just on the
yeah.
right hand side.
Oh,
Yep.
right.
Click here.
Oh, okay.
Now, do you see this vendor number here? You can just specify School of Music. Just say School of Music.
Okay.
Yep. So SCHWL. Yep. Click on V0269. Press yes.
Mm.
Yes. Okay. Now,
Okay.
vendor invoice number. Okay. 82800. Second one. Yep. 51441. You can just
I forgot.
type in the number. Yeah. 51441. Okay. Quantity. Amount. Okay, let's make it GST for now. I'll get back on expense. Or yeah, GST. Okay, let's see our entry. Review posting. That's 5 lines, which is good. Okay, now go back from here. Go back. Let's post this. Okay.
Oh, I don't need to open it.
Yep, now let's go in School of Music. Okay, let's ask. Okay, give me now 2 seconds. Gonna refresh and check it. This is working right now. So so okay. So I actually know what is happening. Can you click on search? Click on search and search intercompany general. So intercom INTER.
Oh, I have to search the full name.
No, just INTER space GEN. GEN. So no,
Yeah.
yep, click on the first option. So what happened is all the transaction flew over, automatically flew over here because I forgot to turn off the auto accept function in VSO School of Music as well. So that's why all of the
Oh,
transaction
okay.
automatically.
So we can see 3 invoices here.
Yeah, so all the 3 invoices, that's why show up. So let me share my screen and show
Yeah.
this quickly.
Mhm.
Okay, let me share my screen. So let's say if I go over in School of Music right now, and if I search intercompany general, all the transactions automatically show up over here. The reason is if I go back in intercompany setup, and if I see VSO, I can see auto accept transaction is turned on from VSO. This means if VSO sends me a transaction, the transaction will automatically be accepted in School of Music. So I forgot to turn this off for this scenario in School of Music. So that's why all the transactions show up. Okay, so once this option is turned on, all the transactions will automatically show up in intercompany general. So if I delete the rest of the 3 transactions, then I'll explain how the transaction look like. Okay, so here we can see the first line says IC partner VSO. This means the transaction has come over from VSO, right? So the transaction has come from VSO. And the next line says your expense account, which is 51441. So here I can see the transaction is coming from VSO, and this is your expense account that we will be using for our complete transaction. And I can see my document type as invoice. And if I scroll right, I can see the details for my amount as well. So this is how the transaction will flow. We do have the option of sales invoices as well in Business Central, but like I said, that option is currently has some bugs right now, so I have to contact Microsoft support team. And once they get back to me, I'll update you on that. For now, the transaction will flow in here, intercompany general, and this is how the transaction will look like. From here, can you actually share your screen again and preview the posting? I just want to show which geo accounts are used. Okay, go back. Again, click on search and search INTER space GEN. Just GEN. That's it. Yep, click on the first option. And now preview post. So click on drop down, preview posting, geo entry. So here we can see 51441 is our expense account. 11100 is currently your intercompany account that we are using for this transaction, but this is just an example. We can change this as well.
Right.
So
just
yeah,
one point, no one should change any of the figures on that intercompany journal before posting, correct?
yes, there should be no changes. Like you should just go ahead and post this. The only changes which you can do is so for example, you have a transaction in VSO, you posted the transaction, but once the transaction, go back from here, go back from here, go back from here. Okay. Yep. So stay over here. So let's say once the transaction flows over to School of Music, if you want to add a dimension value to School of Music's transaction, you can actually do that. So let's say if there is a fund, I mean, this is just an example, but let's say if the transaction flows over to VSF, and if you want to add a fund code or client code, etc., then you can do that. Otherwise, there should be no other changes. You should just post the transaction from here. That's it. Any questions in this?
I'm just trying because I saw like when I click 3, it shows 3. Will that change?
Yes. Yeah, so you can make the changes, but what I mean to say is you should not make
Yeah.
any changes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
this should, so you should not, like you should
Mhm.
not make any changes, but you're allowed to make changes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, let's say the school music doesn't want to use this expense accounts, so they can use any account they would
Oh,
like
of
to
course, of course, of
apply.
course.
Okay.
So you can
Okay. Yeah.
change the geo account as well. Yeah, that's
Okay.
no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, you can change the geo account and then, but the amount should be the same, right? Because VSO has the same amount.
Yeah.
The amount should be the same. I know we have less time. I just want to show one last example about how to accept the transaction and how to cancel the transaction. So can you actually post this entry? Okay. Click OK and click on search. search intercompany setup. Yep, first option. Okay, click on click on VSO down below. Just down, all the way down.
Yeah.
No, all the way down.
All the way down.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you see VSO on the left hand side?
Here.
Yeah. Click up there. Click on.
Oh, here.
Yeah. Click
This
on.
one?
Click on the pencil icon on top. Just on top, you'll see a pencil
Okay.
icon. On top, do you see the pencil icon? Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
The first option.
There. Nope.
No. Right. Right. Yep. This one. This
Yeah.
one. Right. Okay. Now uncheck the option. Auto accept. Okay. Go back from here. Let's go back to VSO. Yeah, I just want to show that example of accepting and canceling. Okay, now let's create a purchase invoice. Let's create a new purchase invoice. Quick one. So click new. So
What's the idea?
just type
Two.
just type 269. 269. Yep, click on this. Invoice number you can specify. Anything, yep. Now GL account 82800. Perfect. That's the second one. 51441. Okay. Choose like a different amount. No,
No.
amount.
Oh, amount? Okay, sorry.
Amount, yeah, choose something else this time. 300, 400, anything. Yep. Exempt, anything. Select.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do preview posting I just want to make sure. Right. Okay, GL entry. Yeah, this looks good, right? Let's post this. Okay, let's go to VSO, School of Music. Inbox. Second option. Okay, so wait over here. So what happens is whenever our auto accept transaction option is turned off, now this will be very useful. Over here, we can see the transaction which has flown over from VSO. So we can see the second column shows it's from VSO. And then it also shows document number and posting date as well. Now from here, what we can do is if we click on actions, so let's say if you click on actions on top, there's a column on top for actions below. Yep. Here. So here we can see we have these options for accepting, canceling, and returning to the IC partner. So for example, let's say if you click on accept, let's say as an example, click on accept. So once you click on accept, here what you can do is, do you see the second option called default, general batch default? Yep, you can click on the three dots. So let's say in this case, you have separate batches for Deborah, separate batch for Diane. So here you can actually select which batch the transaction should flow to. So if let's say Diane is doing one transaction and Deborah is doing one transaction, they can actually make the transactions flow to their separate batches as well. So here I can select Deborah. So once I create, let's say Deborah's batch, I can select her batch as well, and I can press OK. Once I do that, and once I press OK, the transaction will flow to Deborah's batch in intercompany general. But for now, press cancel. Right? And let's say from here, I don't like this transaction. I want to cancel this transaction. So I can either return to IC partner or I can just press cancel. So let's say click on return to IC partner. So here, what will, yep.
Before
Go
we do that, is there a way for Katerina to look at the transaction before she cancels it?
Okay, so yeah, so there is a way. So click on cancel. Can you click on settings option? Oh, sorry, can you maximize your screen? Click on settings option on the right hand side. On the top settings, personalize your screen. Click on personalize. More. Add field on the right hand side. Sorry, left. Add field. Now click down below. Now down here where it says IC partner code, source code. Yeah, click anywhere over here.
Yeah.
Okay, it isn't showing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I can do is I can get back to you on this question as well.
Okay.
So this question does make sense. So before canceling, you want to know how the transaction looks like, what's the amount. So I'll get back to you on this as well. So usually, will you be keeping auto accept option off or on?
What do you think, Katerina and Anna? Ina?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Would you
So-
guys prefer to auto accept the VSO transactions, or would you prefer to see them first?
No, see them first, just in case.
Okay, so you like to see them first before they go in School of Music or VSF, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and just so
Okay.
that we're aware too when they're coming in.
Okay, no, that actually makes sense. So I'm gonna get back to you on this, how you can see the details before accepting or canceling the transaction. Okay, so for now, I think we're out of time. So for now, this is all I have to show you. So practice this. What we can do is once you practice this, then we can have a like follow-up session in which we can cover up the questions that Deborah had asked for paying half of the amount from VSO and then paying half of the amount from School of Music. And then one question was for expense entry. Another question was for seeing the entire transaction before accepting it. And yeah, so practice this before, and then I can show you some other options in intercompany as well once we move forward. Any questions, final questions before we end the session?
No.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm also going to write a summary email as well so that it will be easier to know what we covered today, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yep. So have a great
you.
day, and I'll meet with you tomorrow for consolidation. So consolidation will not be that difficult. It will be very straightforward. Intercompany is a little bit tricky to work with.
That
So
sounds good.
okay. Yep.
Okay,
Have a great
thank
day.
you.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Sorry,
Yeah.
there's
Thank you.
another training tomorrow?
Yep. Tomorrow is consolidation. I have to check if you are.
Yeah,
What?
I know. I don't think you're part of that. The consolidation, that's mainly for Mary Ann to report to the board for both the school
Got
and the VSO together.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Deborah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds great. So I'll see everyone tomorrow. Sorry, I'll see
Bye.
some of you tomorrow then. Bye.